Good morning, guys, and
Morning.
welcome to the grounds with Giles, Joes, and Slagle, Cappuccino, and Kelsey, who is not here with us today. I had to think about that one, get myself going. Hey, but you know what? We are tired of the same old news. Let's have some different news. And the great news today is you're here with us, and it's our producer, Kent Jones, 56th round on the great blue marble, baby. So let's give him a little happy birthday shout out, Kent.
Happy birthday.
Woo! I'd sing, but then we'd lose all of our listeners.
That's same.
Thank you. Yeah, that is good stuff. Absolutely. Today, we want to give a to our good friends over at Minute Maid.
Minute Maid. I love Minute Maid too.
Minute Man Press here at Crystal Lake. If you need to put your logo on something, if you need anything over there, right? Steve?
Anything printed.
Yeah.
Anything printed at all. And then if you think
You guys
can it
also
be
do
printed
develop-
on? If you look around the room, everything here was printed on at some point. Anything can be
Do
printed.
you guys also do design as well too, right? Or you just take their designs and print them?
Oh yeah, design. Oh, they're graphic designers.
So
They're
full
excellent.
one-stop shop,
Oh,
basically,
yeah.
for any type of media.
Oh yeah,
print and
I'll
ad.
tell you what. I have a silly little alcohol YouTube channel that we do, and they designed our logo. It's a neon sign on a black brick background.
Yeah.
It's really cool. They knocked that out in like 2 seconds. So I was like, that's awesome.
Thank you, Don. Love you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Morning, Don.
So listen, I was thinking 56 years ago today was 2 days before, and I'm using air quotes, the first man on the moon. And then all of a sudden, it was great. We plant a flag. We've got people up on the moon, and we've not been back since the 60s. 70s.
No reason to go.
This
Once we've been there, why do you want to go back?
Well, we lost the technology. Now we have more technology in our pocket computer than we did in 1960. Now we're able to put some. And so my thing is this: wrong, right? Look, I don't care who you are. I believe what you want to believe, but we have self-driving cars.
Mm-hmm.
More than one brand of self-driving cars, and we haven't been back there.
So do we need to? That's what I'm saying. We
Well,
did there once. Why do we need to go back?
So that honestly is one of the biggest points I think anybody could possibly make. We went there.
Did we?
Right. Right. And then and came back and we've had these people as celebrities for years and years.
Yeah.
Buzz Aldrin going to every second grade classroom that'll have him,
Yeah.
Oh, hey kids, I was on space, and the to think that this is the first year, although they did just reschedule it because it was supposed to be November. Now it's February, is the first time we'll be back on the moon.
Allegedly.
Right. Since 1969. And that is another weird thing, right? The technology isn't the same technology. The technology we use to get to the moon does not exist currently anymore.
Yeah.
That was a football field room warehouse filled with technology that ran the old space shuttle. That technology has been scrapped, disassembled, is not even in museums hardly.
And lost.
Yep. And lost. So it physically doesn't exist.
Well, I went to the room that they controlled, all that. Well, Apollo 13 and all that. That was
Allegedly.
wild.
The alleged.
Yeah, sorry, allegedly.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
wait. Allegedly.
Yeah.
I gotta get the sprinklies in.
I mean, now, the first person on the moon, Don says, was the one who took the picture of Armstrong stepping onto the moon. That is correct. That would be correct, right? One, yeah, all right. And the interesting fact of the shadows from different, and anyway, but I'm not a conspiracy theory. I like those, but I'm not. But I sit here and I say, there was a big race for things, right? And there was a big, but at what point do Americans, does the world go, yeah, I don't think so, right? I mean, a lot of information has come out about the JFK. I've always been enthralled with that assassination even since I was a little kid. But now there's things that saying the CIA was involved in some of the records that have come out, and we as Americans are like, well, let's talk about an auto pen. I don't, and so at what point does a conspiracy, not become a conspiracy, and it's the minute that the true facts come out, right?
Yeah.
But then it gets brushed under anything. I in my heart of hearts, and I love America. I love the red, white, and blue. I'm proud to be an American. But there to me isn't enough. Who we are and how narcissistic Americans are, we would have a Hilton up there. You know what I mean? There would be something going on more than just a flag. On the the planet that's full of cheese.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, plenty and companies have rights to build data centers up there. They're already selling plots of land on the moon. That's a thing that exists currently.
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously?
yeah.
Okay, well, then who owns the moon?
So, well, right, you can. you're gonna own a piece of a warehouse on the moon. A very popular company on the East Coast right now just announced plans to land a data center on the moon by the end of 2026. They're gonna, I guess, I don't know, a satellite dropping like a shipping container down there. I don't know why, other than just to say that you have one.
I was just gonna say, what's the
well,
reason?
right? No, so you'd have to drop the entire thing, right? I mean, you'd have to have
solar powered.
I mean, I'm not so depending on where you drop it on the moon.
Is it solar powered?
If you drop it on the far side of the moon, you'd have to protect it from cold, right? You drop it on our side, you'd have to protect it from heat.
Right.
There's all sorts of things to be concerned about. Also, who cares about processed data when it's an 8-minute delay? But it's like we have all this technology and these abilities, but yeah, I think it's more of a gimmick. They're just like, hey, we've got a data center on the moon, right? But yeah, it is a thing that companies are rocking through currently, and
people invest in anything.
Right.
Well, I mean, what do you stand to gain other than what you say? I put something up there. Great. You don't own anything. You don't have anything. What's it do? Right? And that's a lot of America. That's just what I did. What does that mean? I don't know nothing. What does that mean? Nothing.
That's the slogan for your store.
What?
I don't know. I just put something up there.
We can get that printed at Minuteman Press in Crystal Lake. I love it. What are you talking about? See?
It's good.
I'm almost awake this morning, so this might get to be good conversation.
That was funny.
So, hey, I want to ask you a quick question that kind of totally digresses. But so it's your birthday, right?
Yeah.
Do you call your mom on your birthday?
No.
See, I call my mom, and I actually thank my mom. I celebrate my mom on my birthday more than me.
Oh yeah,
because
without her, me out.
Right? Well, thanks for cooking me and bringing me to the world. Right? Like, I mean, literally, that's a day to celebrate. Your mom gave you life, right? So celebrate the fact that woman went through the stuff she went through.
She probably swears at you.
Oh yeah, dude, I was the third one. Trust me, I know she was done. She was done when it came to me, and me being me. I mean, so imagine that. Not a quote unquote normal kid. I'm, neurodivergent and, not normal.
So he's got ADD.
But you know what I'm saying? So I called my mom. I would call my mom and say thank you and appreciate it instead of
my mom and dad may give me a call. I believe it or not, this is my new year, right? I don't. I'll do my goals for this year. I don't do it on January, right?
Yeah,
because my year starts when I was plopped out, right?
Right. Jesus Christ,
and so to me, this is just another day for me, right? The big days that I celebrate are my wedding anniversary and my kids.
Well, that's why I'm asking. It's just another day for you, but for your mom.
I mean, there's a lot of people, I know grown ass adults close to my age who's like, oh, it's my birthday month. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
I know it's my birthday month. Great.
The birthday month always gets me.
Oh, it's my birthday week. What does that mean? Now Spencer's birthday's on Sunday, so my son is 25 years and 2 days, after mine. Right, his is on the 20th. So his was on the 25th anniversary of the Man on the Moon. Right? And I actually watched, quote unquote, the Man on the Moon. I was 2 days old. I was, back then, the ladies, when you had a baby in the 60s, you were in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Yeah, a week or two. Yeah.
Right. They don't do that anymore. My daughter had a baby in December. She's going the next day.
Yeah.
Get and go.
Things change.
Yeah.
Things change.
So, so again, we go back to that, right? Hey, back then you had to be in there. It was a massive thing. You were in the hospital for 2 weeks.
Right.
Now they're in and out. We've got technology to do everything except put a person back on the moon. So how did we have that technology there? is I don't nope, right? I don't think so. But that's me. Sally said she congratulates herself on each of her son's birthday. Yeah,
As she should. I mean, that's a hell of a thing, man. I mean,
and Pop, she probably swears at the 3.5 minutes 9 months before that.
wasn't me. It wasn't me.
All I
mean,
wanted was a back rub.
no, that's Deidre. That's what she always says to me.
We've never been a birthday family.
Yeah,
like I will call my mom on her birthday. I'll take her out. Her birthday is like a week after Mother's Day, so I just do I pick a date in between and I just take her out. I buy her flowers, whatever. But I'll never forget my wife's reaction on my 30th birthday, because she was waiting all day, and I'm like, what are you waiting for?
Right.
And she's like, well, nobody's like called you. And I'm like, yeah, we don't do that. And she's like, you turned 30 today. And I'm like, yeah, no. Around 8 p.m. she was like losing her mind, and I was like, I'll call him if it'll make you feel better. So I pick up the phone, I call my parents, and they're like, what's up? And I'm like, I don't know, just
it's my birthday.
Hanging out with Sam, turned 30 today. They're like, oh, happy birthday. I'm like, thanks guys, love you. And Sam's like, that's crazy. They forgot your birthday. I'm like, they didn't forget. It's just they didn't.
It's another day. A lot of times. It's just
another day. I've been here 30 years. Like, I'm sure they're like, wow, I can't believe this. I'm sure privately after they hung up the phone, they were like, "Do you believe that?"
Jehovah's Witness don't have birthdays.
Right. I mean, for me, there's certain right milestone birthdays. Right, 21. Big. Everyone makes that a big one because you can drink.
Passage.
Right. For passage. Right. Well, like for me, my wife, when she turned 50, I threw a surprise party for her.
Sure.
Right. For me, you're half a century old. You get a party.
Yeah.
And I think if she's listening, I think that's the only surprise I've ever gotten over on my wife. Otherwise, she seems to always seems to find out what I'm doing.
Yeah, it was 2020.
Was it?
It was everybody was locked down for Alice, right? May 13th. And I pulled off all of her friends. That was back in the day. Remember, like when people had birthdays, you couldn't get together as a group. When people had birthdays, they'd do the drive-by and honk horns.
Yeah.
The world was on.
That's how people were doing weddings too.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how I had sex. I just drove by and beeped.
So me and Gail, her best friend, set it all up at the house where they drove by, and I'm like, hey, come out, and then they drove by, and
that's
and
awesome.
It's like, oh, that's so cool. She's waving, everybody's scared of 6 feet close or whatever.
Yeah.
And they drove around the block. They all came back, and Alice was just in tears. And I cooked for the ladies. I stayed out of their way.
Oh, they actually came in.
Yeah. We were out back on the deck. All that
6 feet 1 inch away, right?
No, they had a blast, and these ladies drank and laughed and had fun, and it was
good.
amazing. And I just stayed out of the way. Right.
And that's awesome. That's why I say certain milestone birthdays are worth it. Where I would, like for me, when I turned 50, when I turned, literally on the day I turned 50, I was moving into the house I live in now.
Yeah.
The whole day I'm moving on my birthday, and I didn't so much care. But the greatest thing, I'm going to freaking tear up. My son came back from college.
Yeah.
To help us. Look at this. I'm a softie, no matter what anyone thinks.
Now you're getting emotional because Zach doesn't do work, or what?
No, because that was just the greatest present. Something so simple as my son that I see so much, right? But on my 50th birthday, he's in school studying his ass off. He drives 3.5 hours home to help me move.
Yeah.
And literally just wished me happy birthday and left in the evening.
Yeah.
So I mean, wow.
And hey, big shout out to ZRG Photography. We're gonna be taking some Jones pictures tomorrow. So
nice.
We love the guy for that. Been working. He's been very patient with us as we're idiots. We're excited. So you need somebody to take good pictures, family pictures, headshots, whatever. He doesn't really do headshots, but any other photograph a family reunion, a wedding, something of that nature. This guy is ZRG.
He does animal photography as well. Yeah.
So big shout out to Zach for that. But yeah, so to me, my birthday is just another day, but this is where I put time in to say, okay, what are my goals for my 57th year? Right. I kind of giggle because growing up, what like the car My dream car was a 56 Chevy 2-door, right? And people are like, 56, you mean 57? I go, no, 56. The fins weren't so hard then, and they weren't as rounded as a 55.
Right.
So it's just a cool
It was a
year.
mid design. Yeah.
It's just a cool year for me, and everybody wants a 57 Chevy or a 55, so nobody really wants that 56. So now I'm 56, I'm just thinking about that car, like, oh, 56 Chevy. Don says all I ask my family for on my birthday is to take me out to a nice dinner. Other than that, just another day. Go when you're 56, get to 57.
56 in one day, every day.
But as I was sitting here this week, prepping some things for the next chapter, and the whole thing to me, was I can't believe how gullible the world is. And then we talk about this Epstein list that doesn't exist anymore. It disappeared, right? The whole thing to me is there's secrets out there, right? There was a reason why those JFK files were lock and key, right? There's secrets and things that make this world run. That if that Epstein list comes out, goes, right? And,
Yeah, 100%.
Same thing with the big thing to me is if we didn't go to the moon in '69, how those astronauts walked around, what
Pretending that they did it.
What were they paid? Number one, or what were they threatened on?
Well, I was just going to say, were they paid or were they threatened? Right.
Right.
I mean, if allegedly they didn't do it, right? Like, how, and your whole life is a lie then. Essentially, right?
Well,
I mean,
yeah, but
you're getting rewards and going to talk to kids and
Here's-
doing all these things for something you never did.
Here's the
Never.
thing. Not really, right? So that one guy, Jason, whatever, he was the Green Ranger. Okay, his entire life, he went from one Power Rangers to the next, every generation.
Yeah.
Then he was like the teacher at the Power Rangers school, still suited up, still did all the stuff. Went like from Comic-Con to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
That was his life. That was not fake to him. That was his life. He was the Green Ranger. He was Tommy the Green Ranger. That's the character he played his whole life. Like, he learned martial arts. He was dedicated. His wife said that it was like, it brought him so much infinite joy. Like, now,
but he did everything that he wanted to do. These guys say they did something that theoretically they didn't do.
Here's the thing. So if somebody comes up to you, it's 1968, and somebody comes up and they're like, hey, I'm hiring actors. I need you to play a part the rest of your life, and you got to shut the fuck up about it. Right. And you're going to say, of course. Now, if I'm that guy and I'm casting for that part, right? And like, let's assume that's how it happened, right? Just in this scenario, you're casting that part. How bad do you feel that you cast the lead as Armstrong instead of Buzz Aldrin? Buzz Aldrin loved the role. He's always loved being the spaceman, Neil Armstrong didn't handle it so well getting older. Right. He doesn't respond to questions great. He says a lot of weird stuff.
So Don, help me understand what Neil Armstrong, because Don says this. I don't believe for 1 minute that many people could keep a secret like that.
No, I don't think so either.
Me too, Don.
I don't believe so either. That's what I was going to say. Like, dude, how could you live with yourself day by day? Even if they pay, I know I couldn't do it. Even if they paid you millions of dollars, I couldn't do it. It would tear me up inside knowing that my life is a lie, basically, right? Or I'm living someone else's dream or their lie.
I don't know. Is it a lie, or are you just playing the part of an American hero?
Yeah, but then you're playing a part of your life. So you're not living your life. You're playing a part your whole life.
Right. But
I don't.
But
why would you want to waste your time?
Okay, so
Stallone.
Here's what I want to lay out there, Don and Shayna, is tell me what these astronauts did for a living. How many businesses did they own? Because when Buzz Aldrin died, right, his net worth, $12 million, right? Neil Armstrong's, $6 to $8 million. Now, that's you're not keeping a lie for that long. You're keeping a lifestyle, right? Listen. Help me understand how a astronaut in 1969 probably get paid what? $40,000?
Oh, if that.
$40,000.
Right.
All of a sudden dies with a $12 million estate. Now that's a lot of really good investing, right? Or the books, or they got a lot of money when they spoke. But the bottom line is this. I can guarantee you that if we look up an astronaut from the 90s who's retired and or has died, probably has not had a net worth of $12 million.
No, they went back to teaching when they got home or whatever.
Of course.
They also didn't touch the moon. They got so many, like Don was saying, they made a lot of money through speaking engagements.
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
No,
right? Like I don't pay a whole lot of attention to it, but based
100%.
on everything you guys are saying, I mean, it would make sense that, money would be being generated, from them doing personal appearances and going out and seeing people, $40,000 a year back then, dude, is like making $1 million a year now.
Yeah, Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin, even if they had a nickel for every time they stood in front of a graduating class and told them to reach for the stars in a really if they would be millionaires just from a nickel from each of those engagements. It doesn't surprise me that they ended wealthy, specifically Buzz Aldrin, just because I said he was out there every day doing a speaking engagement.
We had a room full of calculators and 8mm tape, and we got to the moon. we even have cameras that were up there, right? I mean, it's like Mars. Mars looks a lot like Greenland to me. But anyway, what I'm saying is it's easy to keep. And listen, my son has spent 9 years in the Navy, and he's got his DD-214. He's getting out of it. He ran for a while in the nuclear, submarine, the nuclear field, right? Because he's smart as the day is long. But when he got out of that, he had to sign some things. And listen, he can't breathe 2 words about anything, because if he does and it gets bad, he'll end up like one of the Clintons listers, right? You'll disappear, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So listen, real easy for me to keep a secret when I keep, every Friday I look and there's a big fat check, hey, I can play this game. And again, let's remember that human beings, if you say a lie long enough, you believe it.
Oh yeah,
you believe it.
You can. Well, a lot of people are living lies every day, and not even known to themselves, right? Because they've convinced themselves over time that is what's really happening. That's real, and it's.
Yeah, I met Buzz Aldrin once too.
Did you really?
Yeah. If you follow,
I've met Buzz Lightyear.
If you follow UFO lore, government has employed people to make fools of whistleblowers and truth tellers. I spoke to Buzz Aldrin once. Shana says info gets fed, and the mark is encouraged to share what he knows. Absolutely, right? Yeah, no, I'm not. Listen. All I'm trying to point out is the facts as I see it. That's all. I know shit is right. But is it?
Well, I was gonna say, is it really a conspiracy? It's just a truth seeker, right? I mean, right. Everything comes out. It's a conspiracy. It's actually
right. Conspiracy.
Right. I was just going to say, so is it, I have an idea, like I have a thought that this could be real, but I'm going to call it conspiracy because it makes it seem much more mysterious, right? And like it couldn't be possible. No, look, I think something's going on over here. This is my idea. This is my take. This is my, what makes explanation, I think, of what it said. It's a conspiracy.
Magic bullets.
Yeah, everyone's trying to hide it. Well, no, maybe they're not. Maybe there's nothing to hide. Maybe they're trying to just distract you, right? Oh, pay attention to this shit over here. So you know what I mean?
So that's the difference. That's what makes it a conspiracy theory. Is the cover up. I mean, that's what makes it a conspiracy theory. A bunch of people would have to be working together, conspiring to cover up whatever it is that you believe. In this case, the moon or 9/11 or JFK or any traditional conspiracy theory, right? That's what makes it a conspiracy theory is that people are conspiring together somewhere outside of your control or thought
to control your thoughts.
China, the United States, there are robots that look and act just like people now, right? And they're AI, self-learning, whatever. If we were really on the moon, we would send the robots up there.
Wait, you're making sense, Ken.
Right?
Wait, hold on a second.
What I'm saying is we have light years more technology, smarts, the ability to do things. And why aren't we?
There's the question.
Well, I mean,
right? Hold on, but there's the question.
The last person on the moon was a robot.
Right. But so all right, so the last person was on the moon was a robot. That theoretically should have told us pretty much any data and information that we really wanted to gather from it, right?
Yeah.
So what is the purpose? What do we gain, right?
Right.
What do we gain by going back there? What we gained theoretically, if we really had landed on the moon, was the fact that we beat Russia.
Well,
Great.
the final
Who gives a
frontier,
shit?
the final frontier, unexplored real estate, just the challenge of it. I mean, the same reason. The same
of it-
reason everybody's wanted to go forever.
Yeah,
you know?
but the challenge of it is one thing.
Yeah.
But how they make it out and how they've done it over the years, and like what Kent brings up, part of the reason I don't get involved, or think about it much, because it's done, it's over with, and it is what it is. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Right? I don't spend my time. That's the one thing with me having such a crazy brain is I'm packed. You know what I mean? I'm moving. I don't care. I realize, I sift through it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Don said Buzz Aldrin's income kept going up and up as people claimed he did not walk on the moon.
probably.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
To the point of 12 million? I mean, come on. Shannon says, I study human behavior and body language. Watching the astronauts return interview is very interesting. I should do that. I think I'll take time.
Shayna, you really need to come in here then so we can all be face to face so you can tell us what you're thinking about us.
Right. So I mean, right now, you recognize how gullible American human beings are, right? With everything that's going on in the world right now, and with all the, hey, we've got a list. No, we don't have a list. We got nope. And then all of a sudden, it's like, let's focus away over here on this auto pen, right? And let's create a conspiracy around this auto pen, which every president has used since a long time ago. Okay? And a lot of Congress people do too, right? It's just, it is what it is. And so now we're trying to look at over here, right? They're trying to misdirect it's the art of misdirection. Watch sleight of hand card tricks, right? It's misdirection. And now we're going to get caught up over here, right? But the bottom line is, there are secrets that the United States government holds dear, that could rock the entire blue marble. Not just America. We're so short-sighted thinking everything's American. No, there's so many geopolitical things and things going on that all of a sudden, if the president of France, she's on that list. Now what? What happens to France? Upheaval, maybe, right? I don't know, right? So there's a bunch of dominoes that it's a house of cards, as they say.
Oh yeah.
Right. And if one of these conspiracies, now we feel that 60 years is where memory starts to erase. Right. The Bible was 40. Right. That was a life cycle that people would forget. So 60 years, we're like, nobody's going to be too concerned now to know that the CIA actually was part of the JFK, right? I can see it back then. Sure.
It's crazy because the longer, like you said earlier, the longer time goes on, the more the theories come out, the more people have their opinions. And like with JFK, right? It's like they. Even if the exact truth came out and people were named specifically from the CIA taking him out, it's like, half the people are just going to be like, oh shit, Uncle Henry was right. He's always ranting about that. He's like, I grew up in Texas. No. And it's like, turns out he was right the whole time. Anyway, what's for lunch? That's
What's up for lunch?
And now he's in a rocking chair drooling.
Right. And Uncle Henry's like, I told y'all. And even he's like, all right, cool. I told y'all I'm proved right. Vindication. What's for lunch? And that's right. Exactly. Like what else is going to happen from it? Nothing, too much time.
Yeah. And John says, I think new folks in the administration saw the Epstein info and said, whoa, this info would destroy a lot of things in the world national scale. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, he was an incredible con man. He didn't even have a degree, and he was a professor at Harvard. The dude was good, right? Which makes you think it must be incredibly awful. Either that, or I think right now a lot of people look at governmental bodies and go, well, I don't trust them anyway. What is it? It's all crap, right?
Well, that's the thing, right? And rightfully so.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever get really a straight answer out of anybody?
Yeah.
Regardless of who you believe and what I don't care what you are, Democrat, Republican, they're all fucking lying to you for the most part, right? So, I mean, is there trust? No. That's part of the reason that the world, I'm going to say this, and I always generalize it, but I think part of the reason that there is a more generalized unhappiness in our world, right? Because I'm reading some things that trusting people makes you happier because you're not always on the defensive, always worried about things. So you can let yourself become you, right?
Yeah.
And that people can't do that. They're afraid. Nope. They ain't doing it.
Well, that also comes from the need to know. So you only get disappointed if you need to know and you feel like you're being lied to. What I find best for my peace of mind is not needing to know, because if I need to know, I'm going to upset myself because you'll never know.
Right. And there's certain things in the world that you need to pay attention to every freaking day.
Mm-hmm.
The news in its great grandeur, yes, but you have to be able to, like, what's the word? Pull it apart and understand, right?
Yeah.
To be able to be, God, I cannot talk this morning. But being able to sift through it, right, and not just believe one, to believe the other, right? This is like,
it's like Ken
people
said,
get sucked into it, and it's.
Well, it's like Ken said with the distractions. I mean, I remember back in the day, a distraction would last a year. The government would put out a distraction and the news would talk about that distraction for a year. Now we're lucky if we get a weekend out of it where people are still talking about it. It doesn't distract you hardly at all. Katy Perry supposedly went up in a friggin' rocket ship. That was gone after a weekend. Nobody's talking about that. The president of the United States supposedly gets an assassination attempt. That's gone after a week. I mean, the world is very.
Well, you know what's so crazy is all that stuff has almost become commonplace. That's why it disappears.
That's what
Back
I mean.
in the day, if somebody got shot or something like that, oh my God, that's all year long.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now you get shot, it's like, oh, it's gone in 30 seconds. Oh, that's just normal.
Yep. No, and
that's
nobody
crazy to me.
And then it's on to the next thing, on to the next distraction, on to the next, whatever the keyword or the buzzwords are at the time.
And that's where it's up to us as people and humans to understand this is the way the world works, right? Yeah. And to I'm going to say this, make it fit into what your ideal world is, right?
Yeah.
Because I know I'm not going to change all the shit that. I'll do something about it. But as a general rule, I'm not doing it. Yeah. I'm doing what I need to do for me, my family, and the ones that I love that I know is right. Yeah. And if anything else comes above it, great.
Well, Cappuccino and I talk about it all the time, right? Is, your vote. Get out and vote. It matters. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. When was the last time somebody won by one vote?
Last time you didn't vote.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, I think out of like the last 6 elections that I can remember, I think 4 of them lost the popular vote.
So, but with that being said, though, Kent, the fact that a lot of Americans feel that way, that it doesn't count, is kind of what I feel is what they're trying to do, right? We as a country have been given that right to exercise that right. I have that right. A lot of countries don't. So I use it. Yes. Is my vote probably canceled out or doesn't mean a ton? Maybe in the big picture, you're probably right. But I know in my head that I'm trying to do the right thing. And for me, that's huge. I'm at least trying to do the right thing, to be that better person, right? To be the person that I want the world to be.
Yeah.
Even though, like you say, my vote probably didn't count. But I know at the end of the day that if my guy lost, at least I tried.
See, and that's the problem. Why isn't it your gal?
All right, sorry. My person, politically correct, right?
Candidate,
my candidate didn't win, but I know that I did what I could, how minuscule it may be, to change.
And let's talk about our good friend Don says a good point about the assassination attempt a year ago. What do we know or not know about the guy who shot Trump? You mean Trump, who has been in the WWE and can cut his own ear on the way down? A little slice and dice on the way down. Hey, it's going to hurt a little bit, but we're going to get some blood. You hit it right here, you're going to be bloody. It's going to be good. And you get up and fight. And then there's been no other assassination. The one at the golf course. Alleged.
Well, and see this. So and that's for Don's point. It doesn't really matter what we know or what we don't know, because whether you believe it happened or whether you believe it's fake, either way, that's big news that got just dismissed.
Bye-bye.
Because if it was faked, that's a huge scandal, dismissed. If it was real, that's a huge national thing that happened, dismissed. Doesn't so either way. I mean, just the dismissal of it is wild. That's and you know, on to the next thing, on to the next scam, on to the next scandal, on to the next.
I think one of the big problems with our country, right, in the news is the fact that I don't think a lot of people really believe and understand that each news station is owned by a different multinational corporation, if you will, right? And they have their own agenda on how they report and why they report.
Oh, yeah, no, it's good
And
business.
it's right, and it's up to us to
That's why
decipher it. That's what I was trying to come up with earlier. To decipher what makes sense, what doesn't make sense. You know what I mean?
That's
And
why there's no more journalists. You get models that can read off a teleprompter.
yep,
Right.
people that aren't out there, you know,
Yeah.
Walter Cronkite.
Yeah.
I'm not a reporter. I
Right.
can read the teleprompter.
Good night.
The
and good
crazy
luck.
thing is, I just read an article about what was it, Barbara Walters, and the shit that she went through as a reporter in her life.
They're just
Holy
coming out.
hell,
They're coming out with that movie.
right?
Her-
But for me,
that looks awesome. That's a great
but
movie.
for me, as much as it was like, wow, holy shit, it's also like, good. She's a normal person. Most people, or a lot of people, you know how I generalize, think that celebrities and, you know, big figures are different than us. They're not, right? They're just in your face
Yeah, exactly.
more often, right?
Shannon says it's part of a psyop to numb you through overwhelm. We'll beg for relief and we'll get it. Cloning and consciousness transfer have been part of pre-programming via movies and such. It's only matters that we divide and get angry.
Mhm.
It's true. That's
She's
true,
not. She's
right?
not wrong, unfortunately.
United we stand, divided we fall.
Right.
How do you take down the best, most powerful nation? You divide.
Let them fight against
Right.
each other. Yeah.
I mean, we disagree with a lot of what China does, but they seem to be marching all in step. Right? You know, but
They're
there's-
doing great.
But
Yeah. From the outside
but-
picture,
but-
maybe you might
but,
think
but
that.
there are things that you know. I go back to ignorance is bliss, right? I don't. My son, he brings up all these topics, and I let him go on it, and then I go, I don't know what you're talking about because I don't care. I don't follow that. You know what I mean? I'm like, why do you allow? I asked him. I said, why do you allow this to get you so fired up? He's like, it's in my social media. I said, well, he goes, you don't know how many times I've changed my algorithm. I go, yeah, but you keep talking about it. Your phone's always listening.
Mhm.
This is why it brings this up, right?
Yeah.
And you know,
Plan.
I listen to him. I listen to him because he's passionate about it, and he wants me to get it. He wants me to get excited about it, and I don't. And I can kind of see on Spencer's face, like, why aren't you getting excited about this? Look, when I was 31, that was the farthest thing from, you know, when I was 31.
Right.
You were.
Right.
You know, you were sick.
And that's the
I
thing
had
that's
better
really
things to worry about than
right.
bullshit.
And that's the scary thing about today and AI and stuff like that. They are tailoring your fear, right, to your social media, to everything, right? They know what's going to get underneath your skin, and it gets put out there, and it works.
Yeah.
I mean, we are more divided. I mean, we've always been divided. We've always had big problems as a country. There's, you know, I mean, we're always on the verge of war. You know, most people don't realize that, right? But we always are. But today it's way more pronounced, and people are way more in.
Well,
I don't want to say uproar, but right. But I mean, like,
No,
people-
we're
always at war.
There is a civil war that's going on right now because if you have a D in front of your name or an R in front of your name, you hate each other regardless.
Which
right?
is
You
bullshit.
get
Yeah.
so upset. You can't have a good conversation with anybody without them bringing up the name of an orange person or the name of a extremely pasty white guy, right? Or a bunch of old people in Congress. And so a civil war doesn't mean we have to get the muskets out and kill people.
Right.
There's so much divide in this
Right.
country that we hate.
And,
right?
well, you know why? Because
And
they're
the
drinking the Kool-Aid.
And the Civil War also started when we started putting words in front of the word American.
Right.
Right. When you put an adjective in, in front of the word American,
Right.
now you're creating divide. You're creating unrest. Right. I don't care if you're from Indonesia. I don't care if you're from China, Japan, wherever. Once you're an American, you're an American. There is your little certificate you get doesn't say, "Hey, welcome to you are now African American. You are now Mexican American."
Well, people like
you
titles.
are now German
Yeah.
American.
People
Well,
like
just-
titles.
I was gonna
Right.
say, but they are, and it's. I mean, that only comes from Asian Americans not wanting to be called Chinese when they're not Chinese. I mean, that's you're an Asian American or Chinese American. Yes, that's a way of saying I'm not Chinese, I'm American, but it's just another qualifier.
Right.
I don't think that necessarily creates divide.
But
But
it does because you're different. You're a white American. She's a Chinese, African American. You're an American, right?
Well,
and what Ken's getting at,
so-
you're an American.
so-
You're part of this country.
So that's a great point.
Just because your skin
There
color
is no
different.
white American. White is just white. There's no white American. Nobody says white American.
I would be a Welsh American.
Yeah, so
That's
if
my grandfather.
and that is where it gets
Welsh.
weird, because if you come here, your skin is white enough,
Right.
you are a white person. You check
Right.
the box.
So
that
how about
says
think
white.
about this one?
Now, Italians are Mediterranean. I dated a black girl once, and she told me that I was only part white because Italians aren't white people.
Congratulations.
And I was like, yeah, no. Guess which part? It was my feet. Anyway,
Oh my God.
but no,
We don't have a store for that.
But she had this whole thing because she was black, Puerto Rican, and Italian, and she did not think any part of her was white. And she was like, white? That's weird. Italians are Mediterranean. They're not
Right.
white. But that's the thing, right? Like Kelsey,
Yeah,
Kelsey could pass for white, but she's got Puerto Rican as well,
That's
right?
like-
and she doesn't identify as white, but people group her all the time as white because she looks like she could passably be white.
Well,
it's a generalized grouping.
well,
It's
that's our
white
country.
American. White American doesn't mean the same thing as African American or Chinese
No,
or
but
Asian American.
it's a labeling, and so it's dividing us in that, just in a simple word. I'm an American, right? I'm an American. Well, you're an African. No, you're an American.
Yeah.
You're a different skin color, but now you're labeling, right?
Well,
so
that creates the divide.
right. Well, that's what I'm saying. So you put that in front of you, and it's become to the point where people don't even think about it. That's just the
Yeah.
way it is, right? So,
Yeah.
nope.
See, I'm 100% with Shayna. Shayna says, I want to talk about all of it. I want your thoughts, especially if different. You are likely to starve before engaging with an authentic opinion versus
Oh my God.
groupthink.
Yep.
I'm an equal opportunity offender. I'm with you, and that's
I
I enjoy it because I've learned the capability to ask people questions and to listen. Right, seek first, understand rather than be understood. But the bottom line is I can have great because I've got I've got pierced ears, I've got tattoos. I believe in helping everyone, right? But at the same time, I'm like fiscally responsible. There's things that I can go both ways, right?
Does Alice know that?
She
Not
but here's the crazy thing. My wife, ask Alice next time you see her, how many political conversations I don't know how she votes. I don't even know if she's registered which way.
Get the fuck out!
It
Really?
doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me because I love her. I don't care. Right. And see, people are like, what? How can
But
you?
But you don't even know. I mean, I understand because it doesn't matter, right? Like you say, you love her for who she is. You don't care what she believes or what she does. You love her for her. But like, I have some friends that, like, literally, he is one side, staunch, like that's it, and she is the other side, right?
Yep.
How in God's name can you live in a household, right? Like, obviously,
Maybe
you guys
he can
aren't
lick his own eyebrow.
right. Exactly. Well, that's the thing, and that's what I asked her. I said, I don't understand how you could do that. I go, I know you love him and love who he is, but you guys are so 100%, 180-degree opposite. And I mean, my political beliefs and stuff like that don't run my life, but they run the world is run by that. So if you're on complete opposite ends of the spectrum, like, how do you really get together? I mean, you know what I mean? Because it's not just physical in a relationship, it's also mental, right? And emotional. And so mental and emotional with politics, that's huge, right? So like, I'm like, how do you do that? Because I love to have conversations with people, but I preface them with like, listen, right? I'm not judging or anything, but this is not an argument. I'm not saying you're wrong or saying you're right. I just want, like you say, help me understand. Maybe I don't get it. Maybe I'm looking at it from a different perspective.
Don says it eloquently. Perfect example of it can work is I can have a loving, thoughtful conversation with Kent, even though he's wrong all the time.
Hey, you're not wrong.
At least you know what pool you're swimming in.
That's right. But you know what? And that's great, because if that's really the case, you can have that conversation, right? And it could be a good, valid conversation. I mean, there's many times I'll leave here, right, after the podcast or in the green room conversation going, okay, right? Like you can look at it differently, objectively,
Sure.
right? Instead of, I don't just shut you guys down when I feel like you're stupid or you're saying something that I just so against. I'm going, I used to, I would just shut down. But I appreciate that because we can have conversations back and forth and not make the other feel dumb.
Right.
Right.
I apologize. What were you saying?
But hold on, hit that.
That's right. Shannon says, if I can't call you an ass to your face, it's the ultimate in disrespect. Victim types get really rattled. I don't even feel bad anymore. Judge me on my intention. I'm with you. Intention is everything. But the other thing that we've lost here in America is understanding that words have meanings, right?
More than they ever know.
So, like when you know, if I disagree with somebody, I won't say you're an ass. I might just say that's a very interesting thought, right? That's kind of saying I don't agree with you, but that's an interesting.
But it's
thought.
it's not disrespecting them.
But I'm also the same person who, if a topic comes up, I've done it on this show a ton, at this station a ton. If you bring up a topic that I don't know, my first response is, you know what? I don't know enough about this topic to have a solid conversation with you outside of feeling. So what I need to do, if you would allow me to do, is let me think about this and look at this and do a little research on this topic for the next week. And we can come back and talk about it the next time we're together. I said, because I don't want to waste your time. I just don't have enough information to have a solid conversation with you. That throws people off too. Like, wait, what?
Well, which is greatly appreciated, right? Because there are a lot of people that will have these conversations that have no fucking idea, and they just throw conjecture and bullshit out there, and then it just irritates the fuck out of you.
And a lot of people are like, Scott, you're a fucking idiot. No, Scott's not. That thought was
right.
And
Don't
then
judge
you
my
got
whole
thought.
life on that one thought, right? And that's the thing. And I tell people, because I stick my foot in my mouth a lot of times because my mouth is faster than my brain, right?
Yeah.
But my intentions are good and my thoughts are pure in a lot of ways, right? But the words come out wrong. That's one reason I hate texting. I fucking hate texting because the emotion or the meaning behind a lot of text from me, and granted, I know I'm a little bit different than most, but gets so misconstrued.
Yeah.
Right. And words have meanings. Even, you don't capitalize it like me. I don't even punctuate. I'm nothing. People get crazy. Like, what?
I'll hit the phone button and call the person instead of
continue
the next conversation.
And that's exactly what I tell people. I'm like, listen, I would appreciate if you really want to talk to me to call me and talk to me. Don't text me. Don't email me. Call me. We'll get this conversation done in 3 minutes versus 30 texts and everyone being, maybe misconstrued of things. And you know what? It's nice to talk to another human being.
Yeah.
It's instead of that don't mean jack shit.
Yeah. I mean, so that's the tough thing, I think, is we don't take the time for things anymore.
Right.
We don't take the time for people.
Well, it's easy to text.
Right. So the other thing is we don't take time to celebrate the good things in our life. We don't take time to mourn the bad things in our life. A lot of times we've been kind of trained to just keep moving on, right?
I was going to say we're almost emotionless.
Yeah.
A lot of respect. Whatever. I can't do anything about it. Going to keep moving. And what does that do to you? That destroys you inside.
Yeah.
Because you're not dealing with the good, even if you're not dealing with the good, like you said, appreciating the good. If you appreciate the good, the bad isn't as bad. Yeah. Right. Or same if you appreciate the bad, the good is even better.
Right.
Right. Because you have that, I'm going to say yin and yang. It's not necessarily the term I'm looking for, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's appreciation of everything. And right now we don't appreciate anything. It's what it is.
Right.
Dude, and just keep moving forward. That's crazy.
I just read your shirt. What the hell, dude? What? Twist and lick gel for hot dogs? Yeah. What does that mean? Oral gel for dogs.
Have you been to my store? It says fantasy on the back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I looked over to say, and now I can't even. I had something good to say, and I was like, and then I looked down, and I was like, now my brain is just blank, and I can't.
I want to go back to something Scott said earlier in the show, because this is like the second time that he brought up, at least for me, is the trust thing. You were saying something about
So my thoughts and research that I've been paying attention to, because I'm not a person that has to be happy all the time. I mean, I'd love to, right? But I'm just trying to figure out, or even just understand why, and human interactions and so on and so forth. And a lot of it is said that you want to be happier, trust more. So if you're always on the defensive, right? If you're always thinking that, they're coming to get you or something, like, it's really hard to be yourself because you're always on guard, right? So, but if you're able to trust, like, I know that you've got my back, right? It's easy for me to be me around you and be happy.
Yeah.
Right. But if I'm with somebody that I don't trust, it's not easy for me to be me. So then I'm kind of on stage, right? I'm not being me. I'm not being real. Well, if you're not being yourself, it's kind of hard to be happy, right?
That's true.
So, I mean, it's so simple in the big picture, but all of us don't even realize it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you don't trust, here, perfect example, you don't trust a dog, you're not going to be happy around it. You're always going to be guarded.
Right.
Right. So you're not going to enjoy that interaction.
Plus, you got a twisted lip tail.
Then you're going to have a great night.
But I just found that, I mean, like, for me, it was a light bulb that went off in my head.
But I think you can't throw a trust balloon over the universe, right?
No.
I can throw a trust, and I go back to the old and Cappuccino. This is for you, right? Trust isn't given, trust is earned. That's the Italian way,
right?
Correct. Just because I show up doesn't look. I got to earn your trust.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everybody that sits around this piano on Friday morning, I've earned their trust, right? Or they've earned my. I don't know.
Both.
I trust them.
Both ways.
I trust them,
both ways.
Right?
Yeah.
So in that, I can share things with everybody that sits around this piano differently than I would because I can trust y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
And you've earned my trust.
Right.
So I don't trust the government. I don't trust a lot of things that I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't earned it, right? And the case of the matter is, hey, if the government was really out for me, my property taxes wouldn't keep going up. I wouldn't get taxed on taxed on taxed on taxed on taxed.
So there's different levels to it, and I definitely think, like, sitting in a group of people that you trust implicitly, individually, that is a fantastic feeling. But like Kent is bringing it to a different level, just trusting what the government is telling you. Oh, we're looking out for your best interest, or we're doing X, Y, Z. Just that's a lot like ignorance is bliss. Like, yeah, you could choose to believe them, even though it's a lie. But
I was just going to say, so that's the thing. Think about it. Nobody really trusts the government. That's the reason everyone's in an uproar and everyone fights about everything else. Yeah. I don't trust that really happened. I don't trust that really happened. Well, you're an idiot. I don't trust that I don't. They're always thinking ulterior motive instead of, I don't trust the government's a hard one, right? Because no one really ever has trusted the government because they're really not out for us in the big picture. Be realistic.
Well, right.
But I mean, it's like social interaction. Both of us, we love people, but we hate people, right?
Absolutely.
We have some of the best times is when we are in situations that we are very uncomfortable, right?
Sure.
Right? Because we meet new people and we start to trust ourselves, right? Even that, trusting yourself can make you happier. A lot of us are our own worst enemies. If you trust yourself and you're genuine, authentic person, you're going to be a better, happier person. I can't trust the government, but I can trust that maybe some, and I can't even go there because that's just the government's just screwy. But trusting, it puts you at more of an ease, right? Yeah. Right. But you do have to be guarded. Unfortunately, we do have to be guarded. You can't accept everything for face value, especially today, because you'd be screwed in no time flat. But not poo-pooing it instantaneously and maybe taking a little time and thinking it through a little bit differently, other than just going, like everybody, they'll pit each other against each other right away. Take a minute.
Yeah,
right. Like everything
earlier, trust but verify.
Yeah, right. Like Shayna says a lot of things. She's super smart. I trust her information. You know what I mean? So it makes me a little bit more at ease with her, if that makes sense.
Bob says, unfortunately, we seem to live in a defensive world. Yeah, but at one time it wasn't. People didn't lock their doors at night. Right?
No, they left their keys in their car.
In the Leave It to Beaver era.
Right.
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 You left your keys on your
Right.
in your car
Well-
on your visor.
Well, yeah, somebody knocked on your door and you'd be like, oh, somebody's at the door. I'm excited. Now somebody knocks on your door. It's
You're
like,
running
what
high.
the hell?
You're running high.
Hi,
Dare come
hit-
to my house.
Hit the lights. Look out the
Right.
window. Who is it?
Right. Think about that one.
Are they armed?
You don't trust that guy coming up to your door anymore.
Yeah.
So now you're guarded.
Yeah.
Are you happy being guarded?
Right.
No, you're in your house going, what the fuck? If you,
Right, I'm
tru- if
talking
you
to him through a
trusted, right,
doorbell. Who
right,
are you and why are
right,
you at my door?
right, if you
Like,
trusted that guy coming to your house
Leave it on
to,
the-
right.
if you trusted that guy coming to your door to sell you the Electrolux or Kirby vacuum,
Yeah,
right?
I remember
Come in your
that.
house, right? Show you how to paint a
Cutco
car.
knives.
Show you how to paint a car with your vacuum cleaner.
Right.
You know what I'm
Cutco
saying?
knives.
Yeah.
You trusted.
Yeah, let me
that
cook you dinner.
Right. You trust, right.
Just show up at your door and cook you guys dinner.
You trusted that person was a good
Yeah,
person
beautiful.
because that company hired them, right?
Yeah.
It made a better experience. If you didn't trust them, you're guarded.
Yeah.
Why? What are you trying to do to me? What are you trying to screw me over on? And that's the way I feel. A lot of people go into a lot of interactions these days. Oh, I trust you, but I don't, because on the back of my head, you're going, all right, how are you trying to fuck me over?
And that trust led to the Cutco serial killer of 1973.
Cut kill. Did you ever sell steak knives?
Let me cook you dinner for dinner.
Or
What
did-
do we have? Rabbit stew.
What are we having? What's your name?
Yeah.
Steve Stew.
What are we having? You look delicious.
I call it Slagle Stew.
As Shayna says, the cool part about choosing for yourself is being able to better accept the consequences. Absolutely. Trust your inner connection with AI. It's a muscle you need. Well, yeah, I mean, we can talk about deep fakes all day long.
Right.
Right. There's a lot going on. But you know, I'm going to go back to, 56 years later, and we don't have the technology to do it. We did in 1969. It's been lost. We've got a lot of smart people in this here United States, in the world. Right? We have a lot.
Dude, we got technology to be time travel.
Right.
Wormhole. You can't get back to the moon.
Yeah,
Come on.
That's what I'm saying. Right? Is in my 56 years, I've seen a lot of changes. Right, I've seen a lot of different things. I remember when you couldn't stand close to the microwave because you'd get cancer.
At least that's what they
But we
said.
need the food coming out of it.
You're right.
Maybe I'm wrong, right? But to me, I think Scott had it on the back of his truck in 2020 is question everything, right?
And it's about ready to go back on.
And he does that pointed at a political thing, but I mean the bottom line is I think we in America as humans are tired of living in the fear, are tired of the divisiveness.
No trust.
There's no trust.
Yeah.
And I think that we're at that tipping point where we now start going, something's got to change,
Right.
right? I mean, something's got to change.
Keep going at this pace.
Yeah.
It's miserable for a lot of people. I mean, I've got a good life, but it's still, it's tough. It's taxing. Right. And the question, everything you say was politically based. Right. And that's what it was because of, the whole COVID start. But that is a mantra that I live by, not necessarily because I like to dig 8 layers deep. Right. But I like to understand. Right. And I want to make sure that I'm understanding it. Right. So I'm trusting. Right. If I understand it, if you understand something, it's easier to let go and to trust.
Mhm.
So.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very true. It is, we're winding up to about that time. But today at 3, you're going to come back for 2 gregarious guys. 2 gregarious guys got some good
I mean,
things.
Chris Stapleton.
What? Who's that?
Rob Clark looks just like Chris Stapleton, dude. Not to interrupt your putting the show. We went and saw Chris Stapleton this weekend up in Milwaukee.
He's a bald redhead.
He's not bald, but he is a redhead. And I'm telling you, dude, they put him on the big jumbotron. I'm like, I looked at my wife. I'm like, I am pissed. I'm like, I spent all this money and drove all the way up here to watch Rob Clark sing on stage. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. I just had to throw that one out there.
Yeah, Don says I would question whether or not to put a question everything bumper sticker on my car. Yes, you should. You should just question to put any sticker on your car.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you want attention, write something on your vehicle.
We create more suffering in our mind, especially brothers. Absolutely.
Oh my God. Hell,
We allow people's thoughts about us to weigh way too heavy on our lives. So here's everybody asks, here's my wish for my 57th year is that you're healthy, is that you're happy, that you find time to laugh, you find time to love, and you find time to enjoy. Right? If y'all can do that, the world will change. Right? It'll tilt on its
One
axis.
person, one day at a time, right?
And if you take a look around your house, for all the listeners out there, if you take a look around your house, you have a bunch of stupid sayings. If you would live by those stupid sayings, your life would be a lot better. Your life would be a lot better, right? But listen, we got to get out of here. Enjoy the weekend, everybody. Yeah, understand that a person's opinion of you does not have to become your reality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, that was a great show.